Hello students, welcome to KMCLE. I am Dr. Babli Tony from Department of Computer Science and Engineering, KMCLE, Lucknow. Today we will discuss about the fundamentals of operating systems. It is an essential guide to the software that manages computer hardware and software resources, providing common services for computer programs. Now, what is an operating system? So, if we are getting in depth for the operating system, the system intermediary, that is, an operating system is a program that acts as an interface between a computer user and computer hardware. It controls, coordinates the use of hardware among various application programs for different users, ensuring efficiency and convenience. So now let us talk about its architecture. You can see here is the architecture of the operating system. Here you can see the applications, cells, kernels, hardwares and the utilities. So in layered structure, the operating system is typically organized in layers where each layer is built on top of the lower ones. Here first is the user layer, the people using the system. The application layer, browsers, editors, games, these are the applications. In the system software, the cell and the libraries included, and the hardware layer having the CPU, RAM, and input output. So now we will talking about the kernel and the cell. The kernel, the central core of the operating system, it manages hardware operations, memory allocation and the CPU time. Is the first program loaded on the startup and remains in memory. When we are talking about the shell, the outer layer that manages user interaction, it can be a command line interface or a graphical user interface. It interprets user commands for the kernel. If we are seeing here the core functions of the operating system. So first is the process management, where we can create, schedule, terminate processes while managing CPU utilizations. With the reference to the memory management, allocating and reallocating the primary memory space for the programs and the data. And the third function is the security, where preventing unauthorized access to programs and data via authentication. So here are the types of operating system. First type is batch operating system. Here its characteristics as jobs with the similar needs are biased and executed together. For example, the payroll systems. Another is the time sharing, where CPU shares the timing in between the various connected. And the next one is the real time, that is RTOs, the rigid time requirements on the operation of a processor. So the next is the process life cycle. Here the number of the mainly process. First is the new, ready, running and waiting. In new process, the process is being created, ready, waiting to the assigned to a CPU. In running, instructions are being executed, waiting for the submission. This process life cycle we will discuss in more detail in our next session. In memory management, there are the two segments, is the paging and the segmentation. In paging, a non-continuous memory allocation technique where physical memory is broken into fixed size blocks called frames and logical memory into pages. And in the segmentation, a memory management scheme that supports a user view of memory. A logical address space is a collection of segments like code, stack, data, etc. with the varied lengths. This is also another chapter in your operating system. We will discuss it in the more detail in our next session. And it is the brief introduction with the file system hierarchy, where data organization is carried out. The operating system provides a logical view of the information storage and manages It manages directory structures, file access and permissions, mapping files to the physical disk. And then when we are talking about the device and input-output management, the 95% hardware efficiency it takes. The role of the drivers, the operating system hide the peculiarities of specific hardware devices from the user. Device drivers act as a translators between the device and the operating system. The operating system manages input-output buffering, caching, and spooling to the optimized performance. System security. Here is the system security, authentication, authorization, threat protection, and the data encryption. This can be discussed in the more detail in the next session. If you have any questions regarding this session, you can ask me in our feedback session. Thank you.